Hi, hello. My name is Devaraj and this is a brief video introduction to rebirthing. Rebirthing is one of a series of breathwork techniques that are popularly around in the West, in Europe, in America. Others include holotropic breathwork, the quantum light breath, pranayama, which is originally a Hindu term. So things like this are all really different types of breathwork, essentially, different types of breathwork. So the generic term is like breathwork. For those of you who like to have these things clear in your mind, I'm one of those type of people. And today I'm not going to talk so much about it. It's going to be more like a chance to actually learn how it's done. And the basic technique I will explain briefly, the principle behind it, because people are a little bit scared about breath work and things like this. And essentially what you do is you use the breath, use a slightly different breathing technique than the normal in and out breathing that we do as we go around our daily life. And this leads you slowly, after about 10-15 minutes, into a subtly different state of consciousness. Not like a big sort of hallucinogenic drug state of consciousness, but just a subtly different state of consciousness. And when you enter this space, which you won't notice it really, unless you're very used to this kind of thing, you won't notice it. It's just that it feels more okay to kind of release. I'm shaking my body a little bit to give a demonstration. That's really what happens. Your body starts to naturally move, or there's a natural movement inside, and it feels okay to let it happen. It feels good. It's a release. Sometimes sound may come out. You may want to make sound. Your body may contort and twist a bit. It's really allowing a big release from the muscles of old holding patterns, old stuck emotional tension and physical tension. So it's a very, very healthy thing to do. And I think it's great to give it a try on your own sometime. It's also good to do it initially in a group if you have a chance, because then you really learn how it's done and you can get a little bit of direction from whoever's leading the workshop. But essentially I lead workshops, and I also do one-to-one sessions in Brighton and in Dorset, by the way. So essentially what you need is, you need an hour to yourself if you're going to do this, and you need a room where you're not going to be disturbed. No phones, kids, whatever it is. You need to be able to feel, wow, this is a space where I can just relax and be with myself for an hour. That's very important. And then when you've got that, there's not so much more that you need. All you really need is to have a little mattress or something fairly comfy to lie on, so you're not going to be uncomfortable to lie down for an hour. You can do it on your bed if you want to. You can also do it in the bath. Some people like to do it in the bath. Indeed, the creator of Rebirthing, the term, Leonard Orr, originally did it in the bath, so I understand. But basically, before we start, something that's very useful is you lie down, eyes closed, just relaxed, and breathe in and out from different parts of your body, rather like a kind of Buddhist body scan meditation. You can follow one if you've got one, you can download one if you've got one. On my website, there's some downloads to body scan meditations on the Rebirthing page. But that's something where for 10 or 15 minutes, you can really come in contact with your body and really feel your body more by breathing in and out of different parts of your body, maybe tensing on the in-breath and relaxing on the out-breath. It gives you a chance to really come into your body, come present in your body. And then when you've done this for a while and you're feeling basically relaxed and present in your body, let's just have a little demo. So I'm going to lie down. Let's see if I can see myself there on this video. I'm just lying down in a relaxed position on my back. And all the technique consists of, and this is remarkably easy, is that gradually you start to breathe more deeply, and you really fill your belly and your chest, and you also don't leave a gap between the in-breath and the out-breath. So it's constant circular breathing, they call it. So it goes a little bit like this. I'll just demo it for a few seconds. So hopefully you can see with each breath I'm trying to fill my body as much as I can. So once you've got that going, you maintain that for 10 to 15 minutes. And that's very important. When we start to breathe more deeply, often feelings come up and stuff we don't always want to feel comes up, and we go a little bit into a kind of default mode of spacing out somewhere and getting a bit engaged in our mind with something else that's going on, or going off into a little bit of a fantasy world, or worrying about the past or future, this kind of thing. If you catch this happening, try not to beat yourself up about it, but just come back to feeling your body and really breathing in and out as deeply as you can. You need to maintain this for 10 to 15 minutes, really deep. But it's not really a big pumping up exercise, like you're not down the gym. So, your awareness is quite relaxed and your breathing is very deep, but you're not really pumping it, a bit like I was then. You maintain this for 10 to 15 minutes, and then hopefully some kind of rhythm starts off on its own. You feel like there is a natural breathing rhythm developing after this time. Don't worry about if it doesn't seem to be happening. Don't get too worried about it. Just stick with it. Stick with it. And at some point you will feel like something natural moving in your body. Check in with your body. Is there a sound it would like to make? A natural sound. And see if you're not allowing that because you're just worried about someone hearing or what'll happen. And try to overcome that worry and just allow the sound to come out. And see if your body wants to move. It's natural for the body to start to move, to maybe shake, to kind of, let's have a look, sort of, shaking around or something happening. Can be quite strong, tension coming or whatever. Allow all of that and continue to breathe, unless the breathing really forms its own rhythm and you can tell that you're not driving it anymore. It's really something natural and deep. You need to stay with the breath. When stuff comes up, when stuff starts to happen, try to stay focused on the breath. Allow it, but don't, you don't need to go hugely, you don't need to drive it with your mind. Sometimes people who've done quite a lot of therapy, they do breath work and, they start to get a little bit of tension or something inside and they really push hard to try and express it and drive it and go back into the original conflict they had with their dad or whatever it was. And this is not really the idea. The idea is that after 10-15 minutes, your mind can kind of rest and sit back. Your normal sense of who you are can sit back and you more look to your body for what it wants to express and release. It's not a huge mind kind of therapeutic trip. Another thing that people often get, which freaks people out a bit occasionally, is that their hands in particular start to really go like a claw. There's an immense tension and a tingling which comes into the hands and can affect the feet, can affect anywhere in the body. But if that happens, try not to worry about it too much. It can be accompanied by fear, and sometimes it's actually a sign that fear is moving out of a body, which is good. But of course, you are feeling fear, so people can get a little bit freaked out by this tingling feeling or a real tension in the fingers. Sometimes it's locked tight. Your upper body can be locked tight. If that starts to happen, try to relax with it. It's okay. Just keep on breathing and keep on doing it, and eventually something will move. And you'll find later on that you'll have let go of something deep within you. So it's actually a good thing if it happens. And you just need to reassure yourself that you're okay and to carry on breathing through. If at any time it does all get a bit scary or a bit much or whatever, you can just hold off and slacken the breathing. You have control. You're not going to be spun out into a totally different state of consciousness. So you have control. And like I say, if you're not sure if it's happening after quite a while or it's all a bit confusing or whatever, maybe go for a one-to-one session or attend a little breathwork group, something like this first, so you really get a clear idea of how the technique should be. Something else to mention is that breathwork is sometimes used also to go on a very mental kind of journey. Maybe some shaman types, they do this, it's great. And the person really actually, breathing at some point really slows down and you go much more engaged with your mind and maybe go on a bit of a journey inside yourself. Some people even go off, they say, out to different parts of the cosmos or whatever. For myself, when I'm leading this technique or doing it, I try and keep people really present in the body. Stay present in the body. So if you feel yourself going off somewhere, I would advise you to come back, breathe, feel your belly, and really feel your body filling and emptying of air. Don't go off somewhere. But if you go off somewhere, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. But like I said, it's probably good to decide at the beginning if you want to go off somewhere, if you want to really stay present in your body. And I mention that because, of course, going off somewhere in our mind is also, for some of us when we were kids and there was a lot of nasty stuff going on, or just generally our parents shouting at us, or it's just not a good situation, or there's traumatic events happening, we learn to go into a kind of fantasy world in our mind. And so when you start to breathe more deeply, more feelings come. The same impulse can happen almost unconsciously. You're not even really aware of it. Somewhere you're just off in some different space. So what I advise when I'm leading this technique is that you really come back. Come back, breathe, feel your belly, feel your back on the floor, and really let yourself breathe. Generally, a session lasts something like 40 to 60 minutes, including the warm-up breathing. And but you will know, really, generally 30 minutes is a minimum, 30 or 40, and you will know if something's expressed and been completed, if something's moved through you. And then at that time you can just relax for a bit longer, maybe 15-20 minutes, then have a cup of tea, a glass of water, take it easy. Don't rush back to doing some high intensity concentration task at work or on the computer or something. Give yourself a bit of downtime before coming back to integrate the experience naturally. Okay. If you want to try breathwork, if you want to try rebirthing, check out my website, devraj.org.uk, and you'll find a list of events I'm running, some of which are rebirthing. I also run weekend workshops and shorter sessions in Dorset and in Brighton, and I do one-to-one work in Brighton or in Dorset, so feel free to get in touch. devraj227@gmail.com. Okay, thanks for listening, and bye for now. Happy breathing.